If you have an enlarged prostate and you are tired of using the bathroom more often, well, today in this video we are going to discuss the 7 actionable tips you can use to manage your enlarged prostate and urinary changes. And specifically, I'm talking about BPH, benign prostatic hyperplasia or benign prostatic hypertrophy, and LUTS, lower urinary tract symptoms, and that will be hesitancy, you have a poor stream, incomplete urinary frequency, you have incomplete empty of your bladder, urgency, nocturia, that will be waking up several times in the night to pee, and then you have dribbling. All of these are actually associated with BPH, and in fact, lower urinary tract symptoms are a hallmark of BPH. Now, I don't want to get into the deep physiology of BPH because I've actually covered that in my previous video. So let's just get into the nuts and bolts of what you can actually do to manage these symptoms of an enlarged prostate, and if possible, to actually shrink your prostate. All right. Now, the first thing which is very important that I would recommend you need to do is first of all to lower your cortisol or your stress level. That's because stress and then BPH are kind of likely intertwined. The more stressed you are, the more symptoms of your BPH are gonna get, and in reverse, the more symptoms of your enlarged prostate, the more stress you are going to be going through, because let's say you are waking up several times in the night to pee, for example, that is going to put it into stress, right? So BPH and stress are kind of likely intertwined. But why is it so? Well, let's say you are going through a stressful situation, for example. What's going to happen is that your adrenal is going to be releasing more cortisol to help you to deal with stress. This is one of the reasons why cortisol is usually called the stress hormone. So the more stress you are going through, the more cortisol that your adrenal is going to be releasing. All right. And the cortisol is actually a very preeminent hormone that suppresses your testosterone in favor of estrogen production. And estrogen is one of the hormones that has been linked to BPH, benign prostatic hyperplasia. So there's a lot of men, as they get older, they're going to have increased secretion of some enzyme called aromatase, which catalyzes the conversion of your testosterone into the potent form of estrogen, specifically the 17-beta estradiol, which can result in prostate enlargement. So when you are going through stress also, what's going to happen is that cortisol is going to favor estrogen production, and that is going to worsen your symptoms of an enlarged prostate. Now, the other interesting thing that also happens when you are going through stress is that stress is going to deplete your zinc level. Now, zinc is one of the most important trace mineral that supports prostate health. Now, what most people don't actually realize is that of all tissue of our body, our prostate contains a relatively high concentration of zinc than any other cells and tissues of our body. That's because zinc actually helps to regulate the proper functioning. They prevent prostate enlargement and prostate growth. So when you are deficient in zinc, that is just going to create a whole lot of issues. So what I would recommend you need to start doing immediately is to eat a lot of foods that are high in zinc. That is going to replenish your zinc concentration, and also you need to lower your stress or cortisol level. So by doing this, that is going to prevent rapid growth of the prostate and also reduce all those symptoms of an enlarged prostate. Zinc is one of the most important trace mineral that supports the prostate. You need to start taking it immediately. All right. Now, the other tip, which is also very important that most people don't actually realize, they overlook this tip. Now, this tip is to avoid some over-the-counter medication. Now, there are some medication out there that are not really good for your prostate. You don't really know this medication. You might be taking them, thinking that they are going to help you to solve all the other problems. But the thing is, example of this medication are actually antihistamine and decongestant. So when you take this medication, what they are going to do is that they are going to prevent your smooth muscle, your bladder smooth muscle from contracting, and that is going to inhibit your urine flow by triggering urinary retention. So make sure to avoid any medications that belongs to this class, antihistamine and decongestant. I've actually made a whole lot of video on some of those medications that are not good for your prostate. I'm going to put a link down in the description below. So number 3 tip, which is not sitting for too long. Now, if you have an enlarged prostate, you will actually notice that the more you are sitting in a particular spot, the more your symptoms of an enlarged prostate are going to get worse. So because when you are sitting in a particular spot, you're actually putting more pressure on your prostate, which is not good if you have an enlarged prostate. So the best thing to do if you are walking, make sure to take some time off to walk around, and then that is going to ease your symptom of an enlarged prostate. Now, number 4 is to avoid sugar. Right? Sugar is not really good for your prostate. We're talking about bread, white rice, pasta, high fructose corn syrup, and corn syrup, especially high fructose corn syrup and corn syrup. They are very high in carbohydrate. They have a high glycemic index. Now, what's going to happen when you eat this food is that they are going to cause your pancreas to produce more insulin to regulate your blood sugar level. And as your blood sugar level is surging higher and higher, what's going to happen is that your liver is going to start converting some of this glucose into fat, and then you have a waterfall release of pro-inflammatory chemicals that can worsen your prostate. So if you have an enlarged prostate, make sure to lower or cut back on your sugar intake. Now, the number 5 tip is by drinking green tea. Now, when you drink green tea is going to decrease your estrogen production. And aside from that, those prostate cells are going to absorb the polyphenols in this green tea, and that, because it is anti-inflammatory, is going to reduce inflammation in your prostate, and that is going to improve your urination and lower all of these things here. All right. Now, the other interesting thing about green tea is that it's going to give you that calming effect. It's going to reduce your stress level. It's going to improve your mood. So green tea is actually very important, and I will 100% recommend it if you have an enlarged prostate. Now, the number 6 thing, which is also very important, is to avoid soy. Now, soy are really unhealthy if you have an enlarged prostate, except you are taking the fermented one. That's because majority of soy that are actually produced in the United States are GMO, which means that they have their DNA changed and then being replaced with the gene of other plants or other organisms. So if you have an enlarged prostate, make sure to avoid soy, especially the unfermented soys, and you can find them in foods like protein bars, cereals, drinks, and then some hidden supplement under the name of natural flavor. All right, that's where you can find soy. Now, the number 7, which is the last food of the puzzle, is to eat lots of cruciferous vegetable. We're talking about kale, broccoli sprout, wasabi, cabbage, cauliflower, and the rest of them. Now, the reason why you may want to eat cruciferous vegetable is that they contain a very interesting compound called DIM, diindomethane, which helps to decrease estrogen production. All right. So cruciferous vegetable is a very important food that supports the prostate. All right. So in summary, you need to lower your stress level. You need to be consuming lots of zinc. The recommended dietary allowance for zinc for healthy adult is about 11 milligrams per day. And then you need to avoid some over-the-counter medication that belongs to this class, antihistamine and decongestant. You need to be walking around. You need to avoid sugar, cut back on your sugar intake. Take the green tea. Green tea is very good for your prostate. You need to avoid soy, and you need to eat lots of cruciferous vegetable. All right. So guys, I've actually made a lot of video on prostate. I'm going to put a link down in the description below. Make sure to check it out. All right. Thanks for watching.